just wants to be beautiful. She goes unnoticed. She knows no limits. She craves attention. She praises an image. She prays to be sculpted by the sculptor. Oh, she don't see the light that's shining deeper than the eyes can find it. Maybe we've made her blind, so she tries to cover up her pain and cut her woes away. 'Cause covered girls don't cry after their face is made. But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars, so you're beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars, so you're beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. She has dreams to be an envy, so she's starving. You know, cover girls eat nothing. She says beauty is pain and there's beauty in everything. What's a little bit of hunger? I could go a little while longer. She fades away. She don't see her perfect. She don't understand she's worth it. All that beauty goes deeper than the surface. Whoa, oh. So to all the girls that's hurting, let me be your mirror. Help you see a little bit clearer the light that shines within. There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars, so you're beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. Hope that's waiting for you in the dark. Beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars, till you're beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful.
When you think of a rock star scientist, who comes to mind? Einstein? Sir Isaac Newton? Or maybe Marie Curie? But what about someone who was truly a rock star? We're talking about geologist Florence Bascom, aka the Stone Woman. A pioneer and a woman of many firsts, Bascom became the first woman ever to earn a PhD from Johns Hopkins University, and in 1896 became the first woman hired at the United States Geological Survey, or USGS. During her 40-year tenure, she was among the first geologists to survey and map the geologic provinces of the North Atlantic and Appalachian region, and did it all by hand. She studied its rock structures, erosion cycles, and made discoveries about how mountains formed. And all of these contributions are still utilized by geologists today. By the way, Bascom was doing this in a time when women were not even allowed to vote. So her legacy goes well beyond her research and work in the field. It's the mission at USGS and the Florence Bascom Geoscience Center to provide unbiased scientific data to the nation. And now, a word from Florence herself. Take it away, Flo.
The fascination of any search after truth lies not in the attainment, but in the pursuit.
And there you have it, folks. Flo B, a real-life rock star.
March is Women's History Month, and there are women at NASA contributing every day to the success of our current missions and paving the way for future generations to reach for the stars. Mallory Jennings is the first female system manager for the Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or EMU. The EMU is the spacesuit worn by astronauts during a spacewalk outside the International Space Station. Mallory coordinates all the engineering aspects from hardware to new technologies. From communications to thermal protection to oxygen, all the systems work together to protect astronauts from the harsh environment of space. NASA is designing new spacesuits to use for Artemis missions to the moon. Leanna Rodrigues is leading the team using new technologies to develop and build the Exploration EMU spacesuit. She's the inspirational leader who will help our next moonwalkers. They will have more natural mobility and a robust life support system to explore the lunar surface and beyond. Have you ever driven a remote control car? Now, imagine it was on another planet. Farah Alibay is a systems engineer working on our new Mars rover, Perseverance. As the rover moves across the red planet, the systems she worked on make sure the rover knows the direction it's pointed and updates that position for teams back on Earth. She spent last summer testing our new rover's capabilities in a giant sandbox with a replica of the rover. Not only do we study other worlds, we also study Earth, our very own planet. From space, the Landsat program maps Earth's surface to provide information about our resources and environment. Melody Jam is leading the development of an instrument on the newest Landsat spacecraft that will launch this September. That instrument will measure the surface temperatures of our planet. Lola Fatinyimbo Age uses satellite data and imagery to study forests. Her research reveals how our ecology has changed over time and works to predict how it might change in the future. Lola is working to make our planet a better place. Erica Alston inspires students through the Space Grant Program. As an engineer, she used our satellite data to focus on air quality and climate change. Now, she expands opportunities for young Americans to understand and participate in our space projects, just like she did. Erica is a role model for future generations. Did you know the skills used to build spacecraft were also used to develop ventilators for COVID-19 patients? Michelle Easter is an expert in mechatronics, which is the design, assembly, and test of mechanisms controlled by electronics. She was part of the team that designed low-cost ventilators in response to the pandemic. Michelle was the first female to join the mechatronics group at our Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Lori Grindle is responsible for flight programs and projects at our Armstrong Flight Research Center. Lori oversees cutting-edge aerospace concepts and technologies, including experimental aircraft and unmanned aircraft systems. Flight research and testing is vital in the development of new aircraft. Women's contributions at NASA reach other solar systems. Nicole Cologne's work involves the discovery and characterization of exoplanets. These are planets that orbit around other stars. Using several NASA observatories, she was able to study a puffy exoplanet with low density, similar to styrofoam. Nicole's work is expanding what we know about the universe. At NASA, women innovate, break barriers, and explore the unknown. The list of their accomplishments is being built upon every single day. This March, take a moment to recognize the contributions of women in the world around us, and together we celebrate Women's History Month.
Women make history. Women are history. My name is Carmiña Londoño, and I am making women's history through engineering.
The National Science Foundation proudly recognizes our very own women history makers.
I'm an immigrant to the U.S., and when I was very young, my parents drove the message to my sisters and me that we needed to grow up to be self-sufficient women. So I am an optical engineer. What I liked when I was actually a practicing engineer was that there were so many ways of designing optical systems to serve so many needs in society, whether it's healthcare, whether it's satellites, whether it's astronomy. What we do here at NSF, especially my division, is that we support the people out there that are advancing those engineering fronts. And I remember how exciting it was when I was doing it personally. So I get just as excited when I see that our funds are going to create that workforce and create those discoveries that make it possible for the U.S. and for the world at large to move ahead. I think all girls should get involved in STEM. It's just a fascinating way of having a life and having a fun life. I would ask young girls a few questions. Are you a curious person by nature? And if they say yes, I say, do you like to travel? Yes. Do you want to make a positive difference in this world? Hopefully the answer, of course, will be yes. And I said, then, boy, do I have a career for you. I've been to 32 countries, and I owe it to engineering. My name is Carmina Londoño, and I am making women's history.
Oh, well, hello there. Did you know women earn about 42% of all science and engineering doctorates? That's more than 16,000 annually. And although I played a scientist on TV, I'm not really IRL. But for those of you who are, it's time to take your first, or another, science selfie. Women in STEM are crucial year-round, and we want to feature you, yes, you, and your stories during Women's History Month. Head to the National Science Foundation's Instagram and hit that follow button. Then get in your labs, classrooms, offices, or the great outdoors to snap that field photo and tell us what inspires you, or what you're working on, or what you do, in a sentence or two. Tell us your NSF stories. Don't forget that one.